All right, here we are at the bench. Taking a little break from the reloading for this one. Thought I'd do a video about how to tear down an 1187. This is a Remington 1187. It's that time of year. It's time to get after some ring necks. So I get this thing ready to go. I'll be honest, I haven't cleaned this thing in about 4 years, and there's probably a lot of crap in this thing. So I'm gonna tear it down, clean it up, show you how I do it. So I've already removed the barrel. To do that, you basically just pull the forearm nut out, slide the forearm stock off, push the bolt back, right, lock it, pull the barrel out right out the end. From here, what we want to do is we want to pull this piston. There's an O-ring. You don't want to damage the O-ring. And honestly, if you're out in the field, like I use this thing for ring necks and skeet too, but mostly ring necks, have a spare one of these just in case. If that thing pops, it won't cycle the gun. Pull the piston off. They make replacement pistons for these things too. I have wore a couple of them out, but they're pretty rugged. Clean that up. I probably haven't cleaned this gun in 4 years, so it's time. So we'll just see how this goes. All right. Let's let the bolt go forward. First thing I do is I pull the trigger. To do that, there's 2 pins back here. Just push them out with a punch. This one's always tight. So use the back of a screwdriver handle, just like your shop teacher told you. Works perfect. There we go. All right, so that trigger just falls straight out. These Remington triggers are nice because they're so modular. It's very reliable and easy to clean. You definitely want it to be in the cocked position when you pull this out. It gets, kind of hung up on the spring in here if the hammer's up. Anyways, get that guy cleaned up. From here, we're gonna pull the bolt. So we took to pull the bolt out of this guy, you have to get rid of the piston and the O-ring. All right, the charge handle pulls straight out, comes right off. So I always thought it was kind of weird how easy it was just to pull that thing out. But anyways, it's very hard to see, but right there you can kind of see it. See that piece? There's a piece of metal in here that just kind of sticks out a little bit. Push that guy in, and that will release the bolt. And then this guy will just slide right out the end. Okay. So from here, it's just a matter of, I think I'm gonna, I'll tear this bolt down all the way. It is filthy. So I'll show you how I do that. So to knock this firing pin assembly out on this bolt, you have to push this pin out right here. That thing is really in there. I had to get a real hammer for that one. All right. I don't know why these things need to be in there, but it's actually kind of swaged so that it does not come out easily. But anyways, once you push that through, the firing pin will slide right out the back, right? And you're gonna have to leave the spring, right? Pull the firing pin, and everything else kind of comes out. There you go. Now, from here, we can really shine this stuff up. Get this all cleaned up, ready to go. Don't lose the pieces. Set this off to the side. Now, the next part is really kind of annoying for me. I'm a big guy. I put a little extension on here, right? So I need a little bit more throw on this buttstock. So I got to pull the pad, right? Loosen up this connecting, this connection here, and then pull the butt plate off. Get to the buffer tube and pull all this out. Now, one thing that drives me nuts about this, and it's warm right now. I'm twisting the receiver and the buttstock. When it's cold, this is you know, worse, and that drives me nuts all day. This thing wiggling around. So that's another reason why I wanted to get this thing kind of tore down, assess the damage. Yeah, I'm looking in there right now. This thing is full of, oh, wow, this is really dirty. All right, well, I'll get this butt plate pulled off of here, and we'll take the next step. All right, so to remove this buffer tube, which I've already done, get the buttstock off. In here there is a nut and a lock ring. All right, get these guys out of here like this. Just a flathead screwdriver and it'll come right out. And then this buttstock will come right out. Put this off the side. There's a lock washer in there. So you have a buffer tube, you have a spring in here. So there's a pin for that. We're just going to knock that pin out. But I'll tell you, you do not want to have your face in front of this one in case that thing comes flying out of there. And it does take a little bit of finesse to kind of get this guy. So what I do is I just stick a flat head screwdriver in there. You can see it. Well, you can't see. There's like a U-shaped. I'll show it when I pull it out. Push this guy down. All right, get a punch. You just want to push the pin out. It doesn't take much to push the pin out. I like to transfer the pin over to the punch. And kind of same deal. Pull the punch. Now I'm on the screwdriver. And it's slotted where the pin goes in there. And sometimes it hangs up like on mine. Ooh, there it goes. You got to kind of twist it a little bit to get it to loosen up. But here it is. That's where that U-bolt where the pin sits locks this guy in there. Pull the spring out. I check this thing because, you know, moisture and stuff gets in here. Especially if you treat your gun like I treat mine. I take this thing everywhere. It's a beater. It's a work gun. So it gets wet. And this spring needs some love. So we'll do it. But there it is. That's a fully stripped Remington 1187 receiver. I'm going to get this guy cleaned up. Ready to chase some birdies. Alright, for this job, I pull out the, I just use Hoppe's here. This is this synthetic blend stuff, Hoppe's number 9. I hate this stuff, I'll be honest with you. It stinks, and I think it has like ammonia or something in it. I don't know, but patches out of the rifle come out with a blue tint to them, like it's dissolved in copper too. I don't know why they've got to have that in there, but anyways, this stuff is pretty good for scrubbing out a shotgun. So really, for that, it's pretty straightforward stuff. I use, you know, a lot of it. So let's just see how this works. These 1187s, I mean, any auto shotgun is inherently dirty. But, you know, they're reliable. Oh, I do want to take the, I do want to take this spring out too. So there's a little spring in the end here. What you do is you push this guy in. You see the little peen right there? It's peened, and there's a slot in the plastic cap. What you do is you push this guy down, you give it like a half or 90-degree twist. There's another slot in there that's all the way through, and then this guy will come straight out. So now we can clean that. Let's see if I can pull out the same thing with the I don't know what it is. I don't know what you call this thing. The other end. Get that all cleaned up. don't know if that's going to get any cleaner than that. Just because it's a hot spot on the gun. So that piston rides and sits in there. Alright. I'm going to scrub this the rest of the way down. And I guess the next little clip here will be assembly. Alright, so I'm reassembling here. And I got to the slide spring. I know a few people have gotten frustrated with this thing. I just want to show you how I kind of do this. Basically, I come in through the ejection port, and my middle finger is on the back side of the spring, and then I reach in from the top side with my thumb. It's hard to see, but basically just compress this thing and set it in the buffer tube. All right, so there it is, fully assembled Remington 1187, ready to rock and roll. I can't wait.